This is crazy. I just had a crazy idea. I've been watching all these clips. We should make a movie together. That would be hot, right? No, it just hit me. We really should work together. You put those two actors on camera together, I promise you it'll be magic.
Well, that leads us very nicely, thank you, Will, into 2021's King Richard. We are, let's see where to start. Will, the root of your personal interest in Richard Williams, the patriarch of that family, goes back like 20 years.
Yeah.
Talk about, it seems like you felt sort of several personal connections to the guy.
Yes. One of the central draws for me, I saw, there's a scene we depict in the movie when a reporter is asking Venus why she's so confident. And Richard interrupts the interview. So I had seen that in real time. And you know, everyone was saying, oh, he's crazy, he's such a lunatic, the overbearing, insane father. And all I could remember was Venus's face. And she's kind of smirking a little bit, right? But she feels totally safe. And the look on her face, and the only way I've been able to describe it is she looked as if she had a lion. And her lion, she didn't want to sick her lion on you. But if you keep asking stupid questions, her lion might come bite you, right? But she felt totally safe. And I remember thinking to myself, that I would want my daughter's face to look like that. I want my daughter to feel protected and safe in that way when I show up.
So all these years later, a guy named Zach Balin, who had never written a screenplay that had been produced, writes a script called King Richard, which makes a very important list in town called the Blacklist, the best unproduced scripts. And eventually it starts to come together in no small part because Will Smith says, I'd be interested in playing Richard Williams, but also being a producer of this film. So if you can talk about what it was about the script, and then also the decision that you guys made to bring on as your director a very talented up-and-coming guy named Ronaldo Marcus Green.
It started, I judge a screenplay, I read it, and, in the first 15 or 20 pages, I always know. And I judge by how long it takes me to read it because I get lost running to a mirror to perform the lines to see what I look like. And I get excited about acting it, and family members come in and I want to perform a scene and I'm only on page 12 and it's been 7 days, and I just get pulled into it. And that happened with this screenplay. From the first page, I knew that it had the potential for magic. And you always keep your fingers crossed as you get through it. But the timing felt so perfect. Venus and Serena and the Williams family were involved from the beginning, working it through. So the textures of authenticity were in the screenplay. And before I made my final decision, I sat down with the family, and everyone was tentatively on board. You know, Venus and Serena said that they said they wouldn't put their name on it until they saw the finished product, right? Because you know, we'd be messing stuff up in Hollywood, so they knew that.
Spoiler alert, they put their name on it.
Yeah, they ultimately saw it and agreed to be executive producers of the film. And during that time, also, Jada was on the jury at Sundance, and Ronaldo Green, the director, had a film that won a prize at Sundance, and Jada was listening to me going through when I was reading King Richard, and she was like, "I'm telling you, I know who the director is. I know who the director is." And she said, "You please meet Ronaldo Marcus Green." Yep. And watched this film. I met Ray, and the rest is history.
Totally, absolutely. So, Aunjanue, how did the part of Orsine Price, Williams, Orsine Price, how did it first cross your radar? And at that time, what, if anything, did you know about her? I know I'm a big tennis fan, and to me, she was this mysterious person. She's always there in the stands, but I couldn't have told you anything else about her.
I am ashamed to say that was my perception of her, that she was this mother who was always at her children's tennis tournaments. And she always had these, really cool shades on and looking very mysterious, but always there for her daughters. And I didn't know much else. And then when I started my research to audition, I found whatever footage I could find, and then I, went online and saw what I could find. And, she was described as a coach. And I had such a cynical, condescending reaction, and thought that what an overreach on her part to describe herself as a coach. And then when I started being a part of this movie, thank you, Mr. Will Smith, and I found out the truth, and that she was their coach. She was their coach. I was so ashamed of myself. And I should know better, because unfortunately the story of women is so often told by men. And I'm not disparaging anyone, but it's the truth, and we don't get the full picture of a woman like Miss Orsine Price. And I've been saying this a lot, and I believe that Mr. Richard was the architect of this fantastical dream, but Miss Orsine was the builder of that dream.
So when you guys were crafting your characters, I believe that Richard Williams was not available to be consulted that much, but was Orsine?
No, Miss Orsine didn't come around. She, I think we tried to get her to come to set up, but the world changed, and so that didn't happen. But Ray and Will and Zach did these recordings of Miss Orsine, and the great thing about it is she got to do the story of herself. So I listened to those recordings, and they were priceless for me.
Yeah, one of the things that Miss Orsine said, and she's fantastic. She doesn't say much. So in the couple of meetings, she didn't say much, and it's a zinger every time she opens her mouth. It's a zinger, and she said, I asked her. I said, listen, I said, thank you for, helping, and we really want to honor you. We want to honor your family. And I was like, what is your biggest fear? And she said, just don't make me no poop butt. I said, I think we can do that. I think we can do that.
So, Will, for you, there's obviously just a massive physical transformation here. Richard Williams lived a hard life, and we see some of that in the story. and it, to bring him to life, you've done things with your look, posture, speech, but I heard that the way in was the high socks.
It's so funny. It's one of the beautiful things.
And the shorts.
It's those tight shorts. And it's, as an actor, you never know. You never know what will get you into a character. It's like, if you're, when I was playing Bad Boys and I strapped on the gun, and as soon as I had a gun, it was like, oh, wow, this is what it feels like to be a cop, And it was when I put them short shorts on, I was like, this is what it feels like to be Richard Williams. But it's like, the idea that came through is he thinks of himself as hot, right? And that, I was like, oh, like it gave me a whole new insight. Like, he's putting the red with the pink on purpose. Right? And it was like, it gave me a whole new insight, right? It's like, and so then I started asking people, and people that knew him and people where they were around, it was like, oh no, Richard's charming. He's always charming. He's always joking, right? And it was a new click into the character that you didn't see in newsreel footage, right? It's like he had a tennis character that he was playing, right? And the socks are all the way up tight, and the shorts are scrunched, and the shirt, and he had the combinations, and it was the idea that he was choosing his clothes for a look gave me a real insight into what was going on inside of his mind at the time.
So Will is going to groan about this, and so are some other people who are here, but I have to, for the final time, tell a story that, just very briefly, is a way of me coming around to compliment how much Will nailed Richard Williams, who, I just want to reiterate, to this day, have you met Richard Williams?
I've never sat in a room with Richard Williams. And I've sat with all of the members of his family, and He sends messages through Venus and Serena and their sister Isha.
Well, there's not many things that I can claim to have done that Will Smith has not done. But 20 years ago, I was a ball kid at the end of my years as a ball kid at
hilarious.
The Pilot Pen tennis tournament in New Haven, and ball boying for Venus.
That's fantastic.
And Mr. Williams did not like hanging out with all the other, people back under the stadium.
You were his favorite.
No. I'm just saying.
You was his favorite.
He hung out with the ball kids.
Yeah.
Not about me, but that's what
That's fantastic.
And I will say firsthand, it's eerie how much you nailed this guy. So anyway, moving on from that, I hope it's gone.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
The picture, yes. Yeah.
So, I want to bring this back around to a scene that you two share together that there is applause every time I've seen this in a theater, and I've seen it several times. And it's amazingly, I believe, a scene that was kind of worked out in the moment, on the day.
Yeah.
And that is the scene in the kitchen where your two characters kind of clear the air about their feelings they might have been holding in, or particularly, or scene clears the air. Yeah. So I would like to ask both of you to take us back to the kitchen scene as just a way of illustrating how things worked on this movie.
We started shooting in January of 2020. We shot for a few weeks. We ended in March, just like everything else ended in March. And then we went away, went about our separate lives, and then we came back in September. And I think what had happened was...
See, what had happened was... nothing good can come after. See, what had happened was...
But this time.
Honey, why are you coming in at 2 a.m.? See, what had happened was...
This is the one time where something good happens after that phrase. Is, as you've said, Will, we got to live with these characters. Yeah. We got to live with who we are and who we were. And one of the things that we did is when the script as it was in January, it wasn't what it was when we came back.
Right.
You know, and that scene particularly, we really worked on that because we really, really wanted to get that right, you know? And for me, I've said this before, I said Venus and Serena are going to be characters that great writers will turn to time and time again because they are these, you know, large Greek, Shakespearean, Chekhovian, August Wilson, you know, great writers turn to characters like that to tell great stories. But how many times are those stories going to feature their mother? And how many times are they going to feature their mother when their mother is alive? Right. So for me, it wasn't just about what I wanted to say as Oracene to Richard Williams in that moment. What I wanted to do was speak for Miss Oracene to the world in this moment.
Absolutely.
And thankfully, and I really want to say this because this is really important. Thankfully, I had a producer and a scene partner in Will Smith. I had a director in Ronaldo Marcus Green and a fantastic writer in Zach Balin, who were very secure in their manhood and did not mind sharing that crucial story. And we worked on that until we all felt like it was a place where we felt good about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it was beautiful.
And then, Will, just to close out this segment, you know, people of all ages, races, levels of prior familiarity with the Williams family's story are really profoundly moved by this film. You've made a lot of them. You've both made a lot of them. It doesn't happen every time out. Yeah. And I wonder if you can pinpoint what it is that, you know, has that effect on everyone from, you know, your average Joe to Beyonce, who was inspired to write the closing credits story and is now an Oscar nominee, to, you know, and I guess, you know, obviously a lot of members of the Academy, 6 Oscar nominations: Best Original Score, Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Film Editing. This is a...
Woo! Yeah!
What's at the, you know, set aside humility, what makes this movie special?
I have no idea. It is, you know, there's a magic factor to making a movie, you know. I always try to show up. I always do my best. I always want to work with the best people. I'm very strategic in the choosing of the screenplays, you know, and we did all of that, and then lightning struck, you know, and nobody controls lightning. You know, you can be out in the rain holding a metal stick up, you know, but something happened with this thing. It's like, you know, Pursuit of Happiness was really the only other time in my career where things just came, like everything was the right thing. And, you know, this is not me trying to be humble, because I don't struggle with that. But it was like, you remember with Michael Jordan in what was it? It was like, love you, man. Yeah, that was the dude with the drink. It's one of those things. It's part science, mostly art, and a little bit of luck, and everything went well on this one. I could talk about some of the themes and some of the ideas. I could talk about the girl dad, like that idea, the timing of that was just perfect. I could talk about the beauty of the imperfections of Richard Williams, and then the loving support of Oracene for this mad, insane dream. And then it goes well. We all feel like that. We all want to be that. We all have dreams we're scared to say out loud. And we want to be willing to say out loud. And we feel that people look down on us and all, But, at the end of the day with this one, it's the universe conspired. And I am a humble witness and beneficiary of just the magical convergence of all of these artists and beautiful ideas and timing. And, I never thought I would make a movie as good as The Pursuit of Happiness. And then I saw King Richard. Yeah.
Absolutely. We are going to take a look at that kitchen scene right now, and then we are going to wrap this up in a very special way. But first, kitchen scene from King Richard.